Hey, welcome back to Tammy at Paper Nest Crafts. We are day 21. Here are my prompts that don't make sense to anybody but me. And I pulled something from little boxes. Okay, I'm gonna explain what that means. My sentiment today is just art, simple, easy. Put this up here. So, little boxes. So basically, I have two of those photo containers that have little, like I put like all these dried tea bags and things in here. Tea bags. And in this one I have just things from Grabby. Back before Grabby put everything in a book, which I really love that. Everything came individually wrapped in these little packages, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, and I get so much stuff that I was like, I can't even use it all. So I'm gonna try to use that today. Also from the little boxes, I had a little box of envelopes that I made out of just, just regular scrapbook paper. I wanted to see if I can make my own envelopes, and I think I sort of suggest, yeah, I made it. But I got two of them. We're gonna do something with those. I have my base, I have my doll, and we're gonna put our little extra prompt there and make sure we are kind of in frame and we are ready to go. So, for our background today, we are going to use the tea bag paper. I love tea. I don't drink. I know. I just don't drink enough of it. Some people can drink a lot of tea. To me, it's just, and this is just lazy, but it's just easier just to open up a soda. But I really should calm down my soda drinking. This is different. I know this you're probably thinking, it looks just like that Cicadia paper, but it's different. Cicadia paper they're close, but different. And I need to use these, so we're gonna use them. So I am going to get those on there like that. And I'll probably put maybe 2 layers just to make sure. Okay, so let's just put that there. We're gonna try the glue stick. I'm not sure it's gonna work. Because it can't be too wet, but it's got to make sure it cover. Most of the time, if you're doing this, you should use a glue book or something so that you don't get this extra glue on the side of your mat or whatever you're working on. But I just cannot be bothered. All right, so put that on there. See how that goes? Isn't that neat? And that's just an old tea bag. That's just like you drank your tea, dumped the tea out, or left some in if you wanted some extra interest on there, or dry your tea bag. And there you go. And you've used something out of nothing. Something you were going to throw away. That's pretty cool. And some tea bags are really pretty. Like some have, they're depending on if it's a Rubios or some other kind of tea that has some color to it. It could happen. And then you would have a different tea bag, like not exactly a brown, but maybe a more reddish or green or whatever. So save your tea bags if you want to do this. It's fun. All right, so we're just going to put that here. Okay, good. All right. I don't really care that it's, two-toned and like that, looking like that. That does not bother me because this is just the background. We're just covering it up anyway. It's just so that we have something different down there to kind of grab what we're putting on here versus just a smooth card. Okay, so there we go. So there, hey, I used some tea bag and I still have plenty more. I was, when I was thinking about this prompt, or the whole project, the 100-day project, I was thinking, oh, I'm going to use so much of my stuff and I'm going to really, really use it. It's just like, I'm kidding. I'm so excited. I'm going to get some stuff done. And it's just like, I just use a little, because my card base is small. And so like I am using stuff, but not all of it. All right. So here's the plan. So these envelopes that I made, I'm going to make it this a flippy flappy thing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this here and I'm going to put this here. And golly. I'm going to put that there and that there. And then basically, it's just going to open up and then reveal the thing inside. And these, I'll make those into pockets. So that's the plan. And I'm sticking to it. So let's start with these envelopes. So the first thing is I don't want all this white here. So I'm just going to use my ground espresso. I do have, I mean, seriously, I do have other colors. It's just, I just love this dark brownness of it. I can't help it. I can't, you know, I started seeing it with the Halloween makes. And I can't get away from it. I love it so much. So sorry. That's just how it is. I'm not sorry. I am kind of sorry that you don't get to see any other colors. I mean, I have the, you know, the vintage photo, which, you know, maybe I'll do it one day so you guys can see it in case you've never seen it. Vintage photo is nice, and I have, you know, all the other ones, but this one is just like, I love the darkness of it, but it's not black, so it's somewhere in that happy medium, and I think that's cool, because vintage photos sometimes, to me, it feels like it just doesn't show up the way I need it to show up. And if you're not showing up the way I need you to show up, then why are you hanging out, right? Why are you hanging out? All right, so I don't know what the best way to do this is. I guess I'm just going to cut it now before I glue it down. Just kind of get it sort of straight, get it close. There. That was a brave cut. Okay, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to go ahead and glue this shut. We could sew it shut, I guess, but that'd be a whole experience, wouldn't it? All right. Glue that shut. Obviously, we don't have to make it. It's not going to go through the mail or anything, so it doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be good. All right, there's one. Done. All right, and this one, we're just going to hold it, and we're going to do the same thing. We're going to kind of eyeball it and cut it. That one could have been a little lower. That's all right, though. All right. And this one needs to be inked. That other one's a little dark. I think it's okay, but this one looks like it's got the faux ink on the thing, but yeah. Okay, perfect. Get a little strip of glue here. Okay, perfect. All right, good, perfect. So, our flippy flappies are done. Good. Let's see how we're doing here. All right, we're mostly dry. Good enough. Good enough to work with. All right, our Jumbly doll, we're gonna name her Becky. Okay, good old Becky. There we go. Her background is gonna be all these pretty, like she's sitting in a bunch of pretty things. We're gonna just use a bunch of pretty things. We're gonna glue them down. We're gonna be seeing, kind of want to stick with, I don't know how much we want to put on here. I kind of like these big old things. What's this? What's this? I'm thinking. I kind of like this with the words on it better. Let's do that. Twink. Okay. Oops, like I'm bending it. I don't know, we'll see. Let me see what else is in here. So you can see, Grabby gives you so much stuff. Like you just like, I keep looking through and I keep like, oh, I gotta do frame your collage. Because look, I keep, everywhere I look, I find frames. I have a different, one of these little boxes that just has nothing but frames, and every time I find a frame now, I pull it aside so I can add it to that box, because I didn't really know that was a way to separate things. With Nancy Piter, Frame Your Collage, so fun. Highly recommend it. Yeah, so I've been trying to, and you get all like these textured papers and these like pretty art pieces and things, and it's so beautiful. I mean, like, look at that cute little frame. That's gonna be for a tiny collage. Like this could be a frame. Like it's just a mirror. It looks like a, you know, it's holding up a thing. That could be a frame. Yeah, so yeah, and then like when you're searching for things, you'd be like, oh look, I could do that, and you get more ideas, and it's just even more fabulous. Okay, we made no dent in that. That's all right though. We used a few things out of it, and that's all that matters. Okay, so I keep trying to tear this up. All right, so here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna get that on there. We're gonna get that on there. This I want to be, well, no, I want that to be the focal point, and I want this to kind of go somehow, just kind of, just to add interest. It's just background. She's gonna go right in the middle of it all. She'll be like, I'm gonna, boom, right there. And then somehow, it's all gotta be, oh, might not be able to do that butterfly because it is all gonna be covered up by our flippy flaps. See, our flippy flaps are gonna go like that. So butterfly, I think, is out. I think it's just a circly thing, which is fine. That's good. That's why we do what we do. Okay, so these guys will be for another make. We're just gonna put that down real simple like. So let's do that. All right, so got my, just my Uhu glue. It's pretty thin paper, should be fine. We're gonna lose some of the side doomajobbies there, but that's okay. Doesn't matter. All right, good, fabulous. Okay, and then we're gonna trim that off. Actually, we gotta trim all of it, so let's go ahead and do that because we gotta get our envelope flaps to work. So, so the prompt today, not my prompt, not the one I made up, but the one that's actually for the project, is what can I apply the scientific process to? And it's kind of a long thing to read today. I mean, I read it because I love to read, but basically, you know, what can you recreate? You know, when you do the scientific method, the process of doing an experiment, you hope that the variables, you change a variable or whatever, but you hope that if I'm doing this here right now, if you had like the exact same things, which, you know, do you have grabby box stuff from, you know, a year and a half ago? I don't know. But if you had basically the same things and we had the same elements of things, like you would be able to recreate what I do. Like, I'm not that I really want you to recreate exactly what I do, but I'm just saying you should be able to get it at least sort of close, I guess. You know, it's kind of like doing the, I saw it in Somerset Studio, and you're like, kind of redo it. So, in fact, right now, I went ahead and inked that just because when I get these guys on there, if I need that inked, it'll be super hard to do. Just kind of thinking ahead there. I'm gonna round the corners. I'm gonna use the bigger one just because I have all this extra space up here, and we're gonna cut some of that down. Okay. All right. So basically, while I was talking, I just inked. Pressing that down. I'm gonna get some of these little flyaways glued down a little better. I hope it doesn't matter you mix your glue, because I always do. You know, like I used the glue stick to do this originally, but then I used the pointy thing on my glitter / PVA glue to just kind of get these fine points, you know, just so I can kind of get in there. Okay, I think that's good. A little spot right there. Okay, good. That's fine enough. All right. So we're going to figure out how that's gonna work. Okay, that's good. That's good. Actually, you know, once I'm done, I might actually cut this bottom part off to make it match that part. It's very possible. All right, so that's how that's gonna work. Okay, can you see? Thinking. All right. I'm gonna fold it, just very carefully place it right there. Got my glue, and we're not gonna do too much wiggling about. We're just gonna trust the process, and we're gonna put glue on that super fast. All right, and if it's not exactly right, we can adjust it, but I think that should be good. All right, so you know what I'm gonna say. Even if it's this harder scrapbook paper, it's still like you still should try to smooth it always whenever you can. All right, and then we got this one. I think I like it like that. Look, that needs to be inked. What? We're not having that now. We gotta make sure. This lighter color one, it needs a little help. All right, so we're gonna try to make this as even as possible so that it looks right. See, we're just gonna kind of manhandle it a little there. Maybe get a little paper clip to kind of hold it while we flip it over because we're feeling a little nervous, and that's okay. Flip it over. Okay. Be very careful. All right. And we're gonna put this on here. Looks like it. All right. Good. Perfect. Flip it over. Smooth that down. And you got some flippy flappies. There you go. Yay. Flip flap. All right. And you're gonna be like, but Tammy, well, what are you gonna do? How are you gonna hold that down? I'm like, trust me. Trust the process. I got it. Okay, so we have our Jumbly doll. I don't really wanna, I'm not gonna do too much else here. In these pockets, like I could put, I probably will put something like once I make the journal that this goes in, those pockets will hold things. But for now, I'm not really going to decorate them. They are just there. We're going to put that like that. We're going to put her on. Okay, let me get her. This Jumbly doll is not 100%. I mean, I love Becky. She's a good lady in real life. But this doll, not my 100% favorite, only because like when you cut her head out, like her hair, it just, yeah, it just, you know, to get it to look right, it's just hard to do. So, but we're all complicated in our own ways, and that is all right. That's what makes us human. Okay, so I'm gluing her down. I'm gonna get some glue on her little hand. We're gonna offset her just a little so we can see that butterfly, because butterflies are cool. Gonna move her up because we got just a little bit of wiggle room, because if this was just the glitter glue, we would have no wiggle room. There's no wiggle room. But since it's mixed with that PVA, it gives you just a little bit so you can rearrange. We're gonna ink up our word art. And the scientific process, let's get back to that real quick. So basically, you know, I don't know. I always try to do something, you know, like when my best watchers, my sweetie, she's like, do something a little different, you know, don't do the same thing all the time. And I'm like, yeah. But also I want to make sure that I have a good representation of like a theme throughout the whole journal. You know, like I want to have everything, you know, matchy. All right, so here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna, since it's Saturday morning and I have a little time, we're gonna be brave, and we are going to put magnets on this. Okay, so I have these magnets, and they just come, they look like this. You get 2 of them out, and they're fiddly, but you just do the best you can. It's like, oh, let go. Okay. All right. So here are the magnets all joined together, all happy. So you got to figure out where you want your magnet. You put it on. Okay, like that's where I want it. I want it to close just like that. Okay. So we're going to put a little dot of glue on each side, just a little dot here. Okay. Whoa. We'll hold it down. Okay, like I just got done saying, that glue holds pretty well. Probably should have used Fabri-Tac, but both glues are pretty darn strong. So my magnet is gonna hold that, but I'm pretty sure this moth is gonna go right here just to kind of, you know, brighten that up, brighten it up. Does a moth brighten? I think a moth brightens, I don't know, but that's gonna go right there. So, okay. So we're just gonna give that a minute. No, not yet. Okay. So my scientific process goes, and this is how I was thinking, okay, well, I don't know if it really, I'm not saying that I don't think about the changing variables when I'm doing this crafting thing, you know, like, yeah, I'm gonna change this, I'm gonna add this, I'm gonna use something else, I'm gonna change the height of this camera, I'm gonna you know, film horizontally, not vertically, you know, like I'm learning so much. And I think my scientific process in my art is really filming the art. You know, I have a good friend who helps me, she knows a lot about iMovie because that's kind of what I'm using. And, you know, another good crafty friend who's like, change it to an MP4 so it'll load fast. I'm like, oh, I didn't know. Okay. You know, like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm learning so much. And I even just like, I don't know, you know, not having a little soft voice like this when I'm talking, you know, just talk like a normal person and, you know, relax and make sure you're, you know, in frame. Those things are all just, it's just all a learning curve. And I never see, there you go. I never thought in a million years that I would be like making videos. Like, there never was anything that interested me. It never was anything that I cared about. And now all of a sudden, guess what? I care about it. Okay, so a good crafter would cover those up. And I'll try to be a good crafter. I'm just gonna use, actually I've got this little scrap of the Cicadia paper, and I'm just gonna put it over that. Not that it's gonna cover it that much because Cicadia is transparent, but it kind of gives the illusion that, hey, this is not really supposed to be any kind of focal point. It is just the magnet. I've found that other times when I've covered up a magnet, like I'll cover it up with some book page or something, that maybe it's just me, but it seems like it just gets in the way of the magnet, and then the magnet doesn't close the way I want it to, and that kind of makes me feel away. So I think the Cicadia paper is thin enough that it'll do the thing. Okay. There, and it kind of looks like, I don't know, like somebody went through and decided to put that on there, just like I just did. Yay! Okay. All right, so good. Perfect. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and get my moth on here just to have kind of an opening. I mean, it's kind of a, I'm gonna do it so that the antenna, or as one very fun crafter says, the antlers face that way, just so the wing will get a little bent up probably in the process of it all. But I mean, it's fine, because guess what? I have a whole stack of these. I've got plenty because I love these moths. Moths are great. And there you go. I like how they symbolize the circle of life, the whole birth, death, remaking everything. Like, you come from this little wormy thing and then you turn into that, you know, just like a butterfly, just the same thing. Just, they're so cool, and they fly at night, and that's all beautiful. Okay. Boom. All right. So, I am gonna go ahead and get my Wink of Stella on her, because you know you gotta do it. Gotta get those eyes. We'll do her hair, get a little bit on her dress here because it's pretty. All right, we're gonna go ahead and Wink of Stella art, because you know it's this word by itself. Go ahead ahead and get a few little stickles on here to sparkly that up. Of course, now once I do the stickles, I won't be able to close it again. So, but you saw the moth on the front, so we're good enough. Okay, and I don't want to make them real thick stickles. I just want just a little bit here, just enough to kind of liven it up a little bit. Get some here. All right. While I have it open, I'm gonna go ahead and just kind of ink up the moth's wing back here, just so that when that opens, it's not like a glaring white. I don't want that. Darken up that Cicadia paper. Oops. Okay. All right. So just kind of close it there. That's what it looks like today. We got a flippy flappy. So basically, when I make my journal, I can lay it down. Nobody's gonna see that backside. I'll be able to put little things in those little side pockets, little hidden things. It'll close, but then it'll reveal art. So that is the make for today. So if you have questions, you want to know anything, I can maybe answer them. Put them in the comments. But just know that I hope that you do a little bit of art today, and I hope that you have a good crafty day. And remember that life is always better when we ink those edges. Thanks for watching.